What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the JW Sports Talk Show. We have Nightinqs back for yet another live, and we did a preview. Now we are doing a recap. Close game, way too close for comfort on both sides. Eagles ultimately come out on top. Both teams make a lot of mistakes, very stupid but small mistakes that can ultimately lose you the game. Welcome, Nightinqs. As you already know, he covers Eagles content. Introduce yourself a little bit.
All right, hey, what's up, guys? I was here, I believe. Dang, I can't even remember. Yeah, I was
Saturday.
here on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I was here Saturday. I'm talking about the game with JW on his channel. We recorded something on my channel. I uploaded the video there, as well. And yeah, so yeah, we've been talking a lot. I think this is like the third time we have sat down and like did a voice call together. So yeah, you can like the title says here. Wait, it does it show? Yeah, it shows the thing below, like the profile picture. My name's Nightinqs. Obviously, you can find me on YouTube. You can search up for my channel. It's not hard to find. And of course, my Twitter is at Real Nightinqs. I do have a TikTok and Instagram, but I'm still working those things out. And yeah, I'm excited to recap this game because I have a lot of stuff to say about both teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. It was a very interesting game yesterday. I didn't expect it to be that close. I never would have thought the Colts would have had a 10-point lead in that game. They did. Ultimately, they blew it, but a very good sign that you see from a Super Bowl, a championship caliber team is even when they're at their lowest, they're making
Yeah.
all those mistakes. They're playing
Yeah.
terrible. They
Yeah.
find a way to win.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles did that yesterday. Does that does that make you feel much more confident that even at your worst, you can still find ways to pull out games? Does that make you much more confident for the rest of the season, for the playoffs, playing the Cowboys ones? Because right now the Cowboys are looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Giants, little, kind of a different story, but
Respect.
how much
Yeah.
better does that make you feel? Does that give you a lot of confidence? Even when this team isn't at their best, they still find a way.
Um, it doesn't give me like too much confidence because I think the way we're, making all these dumb mistakes and we're driving down the field and then, ends in like a penalty, that makes me it's pretty concerning. Like, I'll talk more about Jonathan Taylor like soon because I really want to talk about how our defense, adjusted to that, but it doesn't make me like not confident at all because that's still amazing how, we can play at our very worst at one point and then we can still find a way at the end of the game to win. Hurts clutching up for a rushing TD, then Jake Elliott, kicks the extra point, and then we win that game for some reason, dude. I was thinking in the middle of that game, there's no way we win this game. The Colts were in the driver's seat the entire time, and we won that freaking game. Um, in conclusion, it doesn't make me too confident, but it gives me a little bit of confidence considering, like you just said, at points we can play bad, but we still find a way to win the ball game. Yeah, there's also the same thing as the Arizona Cardinals game, if I remember that game correctly, I think it was Cameron Dicker, he kicked the one game-winning field goal and then their backup kicker actually missed. So, it was a close game, we'll take it. Still though, we all this throughout this entire season, we've always been a team that has a slow start first quarter, and then second quarter we completely pop off, and then we start to slow down quarter three, then quarter four we finish the game off. This wasn't that game at all. It was actually quite the opposite. Quarter first half completely cold. Uh, Even quarter three you could consider cold as well. Like we were just not doing any like defense. Were getting stops. After the JT opening drive touchdown, defense were getting stops. They actually stepped up and adjusted. Offense was doing absolutely nothing, and that was annoying me. But quarter four, just that one single drive we needed. We needed that one drive. We scored. We won the ball game. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it definitely does. Forgot to mute my mic as I do all the time. But yeah, it definitely does answer my question. It shows me, it's telling me that, you're happy to see that this team is winning games that would be very difficult to win, very difficult to just finish out. But they did it. And, you just want to see them not put themselves in this kind of situation again.
Yeah.
if they put themselves in that kind of situation versus the Cowboys per se, versus the Niners,
Exactly.
versus a very good football team. I'm not saying the Vikings. I said over the weekend, I don't think the Vikings are legit, and the Cowboys expose that. The Cowboys prove that.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I bet you weren't too excited to see that game, but what were your overall thoughts of that game?
Actually, I let it slide for the Dallas Cowboys this time. I absolutely hate their team. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan. They're division rivals. But we needed the. I mean, even if the Vikings won that game, went 9-1, we still have the tiebreaker. That's huge that we won that week 2 game. We'll always have the tiebreaker over them if it goes down to if we're tied for the 1 seed and we get that one first round bye. But I still wanted them to, the Cowboys to widen the gap for us. And I mean, still, we beat the Cowboys too, and they don't have the same record as us. We're still in a pretty good spot. I mean, it's still concerning to see the Cowboys absolutely destroy the Minnesota Vikings like that because, I mean, again, they're division rivals, and that's a little concerning because we do play them Christmas Eve at Jerry's World. Honestly, I can see that game being a loss from the get go. It's just wow, I hope we do beat Dak finally, though. I mean, we beat Dak before, but we don't really beat him uh, at all. He has a really great record against us, so hope we do that. But nah, I'll let it slide. I think, you know, uh, I like that the Dallas Cowboys did that, and people kept saying, the Eagles played primetime Kirk, which honestly I think it's a horrible argument. Like you can't, like imagine this, like we played a great game, and then you just shut that down with an argument saying, "Oh no, Kirk Cousins just played primetime." Like that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't
That's no excuse.
exactly. That's
He
no
has
excuse at all. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
he has Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. I don't remember if Dalvin Cook was hurt during that time. Was he hurt during that time a little bit?
In our week 2 game,
Yeah,
no, he
or
was
was he
playing. He
healthy?
just,
So
yeah,
Dalvin Cook.
yeah.
I don't think Adam Thielen is playing. I think he. I don't know. I think I'm really mixing up my injuries, but I don't think
He
yeah.
was. Adam
Oh,
Thielen was
he
playing
was.
that.
So
Yeah.
Adam Thielen played. I know people don't talk about Adam Thielen much, but look at who the wide receiver one is. No one's gonna
Yeah.
talk about Adam Thielen when Justin Jefferson has put up 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns a season.
Oh,
That's just
yeah.
out of this world type of play. They have good weapons. T.J. Hawkinson now that they didn't have at the time, and the offense line is very good too. There is no excuse on why you know, there's no excuse on why the Eagles played so good. There's not. They came out, they dominated a game from start to finish, and
Exactly.
and that's it. That's it. There's no excuse. The NFL, you could come out and say this and come out with all these what ifs. I don't like saying what ifs because what happened is what happened. You can't base off of
Exactly.
an imaginary of a something that didn't happen. You have to base off of what did happen, what the players had, that kind of stuff. So
Exactly.
very good game for the Eagles. And you know, back to this game though. I know we got off track a little bit, but
I did.
I asked you a question about the Cowboys and how you feel about them. So that's how we kind of got to that situation. But any more thoughts that you want to put in on that situation before we move on?
Just just a few more. I just want to finish it off. Cowboys definitely gave the Vikings a piece of humble pie, last Sunday. And yeah, and it wasn't even a piece of humble pie. It was absolutely domination. Like if you saw the score, it wasn't it like 40-3 Dallas, like at the end of the game, like somewhere along that. Dude, they were absolutely trampling the Vikings that game. I saw that game. Tony Pollard doing Tony Pollard stuff. Zeke got into the end zone at one point. Dude, Tony Pollard was doing everything. He was running the ball. He was catching the ball, even catching the ball on deep passes. Dude, Tony Pollard was doing excellent that game. The Vikings had nothing for him. And then the Vikings offense just I don't really know if it's their offense or the Dallas defensive front just being absolutely dominant. Maybe a little bit of both. But dude, Micah Parsons off the edge. I'm I'm a Penn State fan. I've seen that guy. It hurt me when he went to Dallas, but is what it is now. Look at him. And also Doran Starstrong, Osa Odigizua, Demarcus Lawrence too. We forgot about that guy. Wow, dude. Kirk Cousins, the Vikings offensive line, we're not giving Kirk Cousins any time, dude. It was just like a second, and then Kirk Cousins saw a defender in his eye. That's how quick the defensive line for Dallas went. So yeah, it's concerning to see Dallas absolutely. And actually, now that I think about it, the Vikings' only two losses come from NFC East opponents who are both first and second in their division. So us and Dallas. And if Dallas did that in a regular season game, no prime time, then you cannot excuse, us playing in prime time and beating them. Okay, if you know what I'm saying, this wasn't a prime time game. Dallas, still did that work. Was Kirk Cousins at fault for this game? No. Did he play great? Not really.
No.
It's. I'm not saying he played bad either. It's just it's a terrible argument when you say Kirk Cousins playing in prime time is the reason we won that game. No, you just got to call it how it is. So yeah, that's all I have to say
Exactly.
about that game.
Too many people get caught up with the what ifs. What if this happened? You can't do that. What happened is what you have to go off of.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you want to talk about the Colts game? What caught your eye the most? Was it stopping Jonathan Taylor? Was it the urgency that they had when they really needed to score a touchdown and then ultimately go down and score another one? Or was it that defense right at the end really making the stop when it mattered most?
Mm.
What was the most important aspect that helped the Eagles win
Oh,
this game?
that's a good one. Honestly, I'm gonna just first say it right now. I think Jonathan Taylor. All right. I think the aspect of we let up that opening drive touchdown to JT. All right, and honestly, it's sad to say, but I wasn't surprised. I know we do bad against running backs, especially with the running back like the caliber of Jonathan Taylor. Guess what? We play Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and obviously Tony Pollard and David Montgomery. I know Montgomery's not the same, but look at our remaining schedule. Great running backs. That's concerning. But what I like about this game is we let up an opening touchdown drive to JT. Okay, we adjust, and honestly, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say he didn't really get another big play after that. I think you would agree, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we adjusted well, and we started stuffing. I've seen a few times each drive where JT runs up the middle, and we did a good job of stuffing him at the line. He had an occasional first down and a good chunk of yards like 8 and 10, right? But other than that, he didn't really do something very crazy. So I think the fact that the defense just after letting up that opening drive, not only stopped JT, but started getting consistent stops, around the game. Defense stepped up when it was needed to. And I think that helped us because, with the way our offense was playing, the Colts offense started rolling, you know, um, it could have just been game over for us. And actually, both offense for both of us, we were not playing up to par at all. And you guys also, it was a big defensive game first half. You could say that for the entirety of the game, too. Defense was the big star here, besides that JT touchdown. So, yeah, and I think with JT getting stuffed and all that, it opened up things for Matt Ryan, who actually did not have a bad day whatsoever. I saw on your Discord server, you guys are having like a debate on, who to really blame. And yeah, you guys said offensive line was okay. Matt Ryan was honestly doing pretty well. It's just all in all, defensive game for both of us, and our defenses were just getting pretty consistent stops, and we just clutched up at the end. Quez Watkins touchdown. If you remember, Quez Watkins Commanders game had that very, very annoying
Oh,
fumble, but like I said in the pregame on your stream, he needs to forget about it, move on, and that's exactly what he did. So, good stuff to him. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts, I think it was a fourth down and goal, had no one touch him at all. He just ran right in there. There's nothing. Like, there's one guy in the end zone who could have got him, but he already leaped in and scored. So yeah, I know it's a little bit weird considering we had clutch, moments, at the fourth quarter that helped us win, and of course that defensive stop, like you mentioned. I was a little bit nervous because you never. I mean, actually, I was pretty nervous because the Colts actually needed a field goal to win it. Even though Chase McLaughlin, I believe, did miss that kick earlier. Still concerning. Didn't want him to get out of field goal range, but I know our defense had the ability to stop them here. And yeah, I believe who was it Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, either one of those two. I
Brandon
think it was
Graham, man.
Yeah, Brandon Graham got that sack, and then I knew after it was a third and long, game wasn't completely over, but I knew we were gonna win somehow. And then the last play, I believe you guys checked it down to receiver. That was ball game, you know. So yeah, it's a little weird that I'm saying, stopping Jonathan Taylor was the biggest aspect of the game for us that helped us win. But that was crucial, though. You know how bad we do against running backs? The fact that we just, completely forgot about that opening drive touchdown Jonathan Taylor had, and we, started to adjust and, consistently stop him. That's great work by our run defense. And Ndamukong Suh, also played a big impact on the run game, too. So, glad to see him doing great stuff coming here. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, they always say short-term memory is key to being successful in the NFL in any sport, really. So,
Yeah,
um, I agree with your point. Where Matt Ryan played well. He played well for what he can do. He's so
yeah,
limited in this point of his career. I don't think the offense was terrible. Obviously it didn't play well, but they're
yeah,
playing the best that they could with a quarterback that is very limited. I feel like, and the offense line doesn't help at times, but the offense line has been much better versus a very, very fierce Eagles front yesterday. This
yeah,
offense line impressed me, especially when you have a quarterback like Matt Ryan can't move. Honestly, Matt Ryan, this is so similar to the Philip Rivers year. So similar.
yeah,
Except for, kind of the Jacksonville 0-24. There's some differences, of course.
yeah,
But it's so similar because both quarterbacks are so limited. They don't really have any arm strength. They can't get the ball there. They have very questionable decisions. And some of the decisions just look worse because they don't have the arm talent to get it there. They see it, but they can't get it there. Um,
yeah,
the main difference is the offensive line. It's definitely not as good as it was when Philip Rivers was here. Let's be
yeah,
honest. Philip Rivers was sacked
yeah.
19 times, and I think Matt Ryan and the Colts quarterbacks in general were sacked probably almost 40 times or more by now.
Really?
So yeah, I think it's that bad. But I'm
Ooh, what happened?
Could you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Wait, am I
What happened?
good?
It
Okay.
just okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. But
No, it's all good.
um I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, about the sacks and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, I say I'm talking about the sacks and I go and talk about Jonathan Taylor. I make
No,
no
it's all
sense. But that's the main difference. That has been the main difference. The offense line is nowhere near it was when you have Philip Rivers. Matt Ryan can move a little bit more than Philip Rivers. That's not really saying much though. But
good. Yeah.
um, I think the receivers played okay. Especially playing against a very good Philadelphia Eagles secondary, probably the best 1-2 punch and Slay and Bradbury. A few times, Jonathan Taylor got the best of Chauncey Gardner. You can see at the beginning, he got choppy with him quick. I don't know if you remember that, but JT gave him a good stiff arm, and Chauncey got mouthy, but
Oh,
very good
really?
for you guys. Yeah, he got mouthy. They were going at it at the beginning pretty good, a little bit.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, but ultimately the Eagles just did a fantastic job of stopping the run, and ultimately that offense getting into gear when it mattered most.
Yeah.
Um, but those little mistakes, when the Colts defense made a stop, got that fumble with AJ Brown. I think the fumble on AJ Brown was the one where they scored the field goal on that drive. I don't remember though. But there was a drive where the defense got to stop. The Eagles went for it on 4th and 10. I thought that was very questionable.
Yeah, it was very dumb.
Why not just pin the Colts deep when
Yeah.
the offense isn't doing much as it is?
Yeah.
I thought that was questionable. Very, very aggressive. Top notch aggressive 4th and 10 at the 4-yard
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
So then the Colts had very short field, got nothing, punted it, started to get a little momentum, and then JT fumbled. And that brings us to this question here. Did Jeff Saturday bench Jonathan Taylor for fumbling yesterday? I don't think he benched him because JT was playing late. But Jonathan Taylor has had fumble issues this year. And he had fumbling concerns coming out of college. But this year, he's fumbled a few times. And he hasn't played a lot of games, but yet he's fumbled like 3 times, 2 or 3
Yeah.
times. So that's not good. You're expected to be one of the best backs in the league. And, yeah, you're very electric and you are a very good back. But if you're going to fumble the ball and give it away, how good is it? How good,
Yeah.
how really good is it, honestly? So, if I'm like, no, you're good, you're good. And if a game's rigged, that's a, that's a loaded question. You could go back and forth on that. What do you think about that night?
Game's rigged. I
Like the
mean,
NFL games being rigged, just like the NFL in general?
mm, I mean the examples they bring. I mean, I'm not saying they're right, but it is a little coincidental. I do agree, but like being rigged though, I don't know what's purpose that serve exactly. Like really, was it like how betting sites or something? I don't even know. I don't even know how that even help anybody if it was rigged. But you know,
Right, yeah,
I'm
right. I
just
don't know. It's a very weird, different. I don't really like to talk about it like that much either.
me neither. Honestly, I mean this is a good game though. I don't know if it's being rigged. I mean, 17-16. I mean, honestly, like if you do remember, I think you said 31-20 Eagles, and I said 28-20. I still thought it was gonna be a really a close game, like maybe 8 points, uh, differential, but it was a 1 point differential. I didn't think this was gonna be a cakewalk at all. I thought this was gonna be a game we struggle in for a little bit, and after the loss to Commanders, we kind of settle in, and I know, yeah, we were angry after that loss, but still thought we would have some growing pains, and that's exactly what we had, and we just won barely. Yeah, I don't really think about rig though. Just
And
saying.
what absolutely hurt this Colts team the most is that fumble that Unique Ngakwe forced. First play of the half, Jalen Hurts fumbles.
Oh
The,
yeah,
and the Colts walk away with a field goal. When you had, like, what, 20 yards to go?
dude. I was so relieved we forced you guys to a field goal there because I remember first play of the half. Most of the season we received the ball at half, like almost always. It was like not a surprise. Okay, so then it was like kick in high gear. At the very least get a field goal and drive down there. Even though I wanted a touchdown. First thing is a fumble, and actually I do know what happened that play. Miles Sanders was called to block on Yannick Ngakwe. Like why? Exactly why though? I have no idea. Like why would you put Miles on a huge defensive line, especially not just any defensive lineman, Yannick Ngakwe of all people? Like come on, dude.
Yeah,
Are you
right.
kidding me? That is terrible. That's on Steichen. I don't even care. What is Miles supposed to do? Obviously, he's supposed to try and block the but like how is he? I don't even know anymore. Dude. That's just terrible scheming. Seriously, gone. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then, as much as we herald the Colts defense, or the defense of the Colts, they do crumble at the end of the games. They do, but you also have to think about how worn out and tired they have to be after being out on the field constantly. The offense, the defense has gotten many turnovers, 3-and-outs, given the offenses chances, good field position. The
Yeah,
offense doesn't do anything with it.
yeah,
Half the time they turn it over, they get a field goal, or they don't get anything. And that has to be not just physically tiring, but mentally tiring. You know, you're like, if we get the stop, is the offense going to be able to finish the game? It has to be very difficult mentally and physically.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, I mean, I guess there's not really too much more to say. We really summed it up pretty well. The Eagles stopped the run. The Eagles did make a lot of mistakes and penalties wise, and in general. In the end, they came out on top because they're the better team and they
Yeah,
wanted it most when it mattered most.
thank you. Yeah, right. So I actually have like just a few more stuff to say to like kind of wrap it up, if you don't mind me. Um,
Go for it.
all right, bet. Okay, so Yeah, about the penalties, like you said. Pretty sure all three backup tight ends in was it? It was Grant Calcaterra, Tyree Jackson, and
The
Jack Stoll.
stalker guy.
What do you mean, stalker?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I was just guessing a name of one of them, but I probably got it completely wrong.
Oh no, no, you good. You mean Jack Stoll? That's one of
Yeah,
our
yeah. That's who I meant.
Jack Stoll. Yeah, all of them got penalties. On I don't think the same drive, but they. Oh boy, that shows you how much we miss Goddard. Especially the blocking game with the penalties, the receiving game. We missed him so much that game, and I hope he comes back soon. Hey, good news though, Jordan Davis. You know, um, we will be coming back Titans game, but we have to go up against Aaron Rodgers. Dude, Aaron Rodgers, he's still Aaron Rodgers, no matter how. Uh, I wouldn't say washed up, but since he doesn't really have a lot of targets. I mean, Christian Watson is stepping up, and again, he's still Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. You have to think about that. Aaron Jones, even though they don't really give him the ball as much as they need to, they better this game if they if they really want to beat us. It's prime time. We debut our black helmets. We better not lose, against this Packers team that's been struggling, this year. And again, we have the black helmets premiering too. Like we cannot lose in them. Absolutely. So, um, uh, yeah, but anyways, and to finish it off, I just want to say one guy that I really want to talk about, Jalen Hurts. Okay, we won, and even if we did not win this game, it's not all on him at all. It's not on Jalen Hurts. Okay, 18 for 25. I'm looking at stats right now: 190 yards and one touchdown, and he got another touchdown. Uh, to the
On the
clutch up
ground.
win this game, dude. Jalen, he wasn't like this wasn't his best game of the season at all. He's had way better games, like the Pittsburgh Steelers game, 4 passing touchdowns. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, absolutely. This wasn't his most stellar of games, but it wasn't most certainly not one of his worst games either. It was in the middle of the pack. He still got the job done though. And also AJ Brown fumble. How does a guy like AJ Brown, just fumble like that? I mean, obviously fumbles happen, and I'm not saying he should never fumble at all because he's not allowed to. No, I'm not saying that. But boy, that was really bad from AJ Brown, dude. We got a fumble on Jonathan Taylor of all people after stopping him consistently the entire game, and then he fumbles like that where we're actually driving. I think it was a lot. It happened in the Commanders game. No, not the AJ Brown fumble, but like it happened in the Commanders game where we kept driving. We it looked like the drive was going to be promising, and then we had we just had a dumb mistake, just end the drive, and we had a lot of those to this game as well. By the way, ECG says one day we'll get Nightinqs to turn his camera on. 1,000 subs, okay? I know I'm absolutely never going to touch that amount ever, but 1,000
Don't
subs.
ever say never.
I know,
Don't ever
I
say never.
know.
You'll get there.
I know, I appreciate that, but that's like such a big amount. I don't think I'll get there soon. So, unless I like, get popular for some reason, but 1,000 subs, I promise to you guys, 1K subs, you hit it here right now, I will turn on my camera. Or maybe like less than 1,000 subs. I'll see, but I'm not going to turn on my camera yet, but I promise I'll get a haircut. I'll wear a nice outfit. When I face reveal, I'll do everything I can, guys. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
In a
one day.
way, I want to end
One.
up on something here. I think
What?
this. It may sound weird, but I think this is probably have to be one of Jalen Hurts' best games. It may sound weird,
Hmm,
may not show it in the stats, but
that's
he
true.
showed up when it mattered most. He
Mm,
got this offense to get up and go when they needed
that's
to.
that is a
Has he
good
really
point.
shown that before?
I mean, we've been dominating almost every single game we're in, so that is true. You do have a point. I mean, I can go by all the games that we played right now. Eagles Lions game, he was okay. Eagles Vikings game. He was really good. That one pick, not really his fault, honestly. Kenneth Gainwell, that's a catchable pass. Eagles Commanders game, pretty dominant. I believe he had 3 touchdown passes to a name. Yup. Uh, hold on. What am I thinking? Eagles Jaguars game. That was, I think, one of the worst games in the season right now, which is saying something because he's doing great. But that was at the pick six game where he made a bad decision. Did not look He still rallied and led his team to victory, but that was not one of his best games. Cardinals game was okay. I think he got a interception. Called back. Cowboys game was really good. Steelers game was really good. Commanders game, it wasn't his fault either. That goes to this game. I think you make a good point, honestly, because hey, he clutched up. He got two offensive touchdowns, one with his legs, one in the with his arm, and he finished this game off. When we needed it the most. So you make a good point. By the way, my screen's still broken. So what does the comment say from ECG?
It says Nick Sirianni's offensive scheme leaves less to be desired.
But that's true. But Steichen's also calling the plays as well. So it's annoying to me.
Sirianni and Steichen are showing some things that Frank Reich used to do. Let's just hope that
Really?
they learn from the mistakes, because Frank Reich did not. And the difference is those guys actually they actually interact with people on the sideline. Frank Reich always just stood there and watched his play sheet, which is so aggravating.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That
You're
is
good.
true.
You're good.
I
Yeah.
just, man, Steichen. You know, I I've praised him at times. I've also criticized him at times. Sometimes, he just absolutely frustrates me. It's definitely annoying. And then I saw like a tweet on Twitter that was really funny. It said Hertz decided he wants to be the offensive coordinator now, and I think that's honestly super funny. Just obviously that's not what happened on the field, but I saw that tweet and I was like, yeah, maybe Hertz did decide to be his own offensive coordinator for a little bit, and yeah, I mean he did take control of that game at the end, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, um, yeah, Steichen definitely. I mean, I don't hate it, but I still don't like it at the same time. It's kind of in the middle ground too, And I think Steichen is a head coaching candidate. Actually, people have been saying that, and I don't think he's ready for that yet. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
didn't think Sirianni was going to go the year he went. It was kind of a surprise because that was the offseason we thought Matt Eberflus was going to go. Turned out Matt Eberflus stayed and Sirianni left. It was really weird
Yeah,
change of what you thought it would be. But last few
exactly.
comments here, and then I guess we could head off, give any last thoughts, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty
All right.
good.
So ECG, a few Matt Ryan conversions could Colts would have won. He threw about 5 to 6 balls on third down to the ground. As I said earlier, Matt Ryan is just limited at this point in his career. It's basically the same offense. It's basically the same thing from when Phil Rivers was here. It's just Matt Ryan has a worse offensive line.
Yeah,
All right, Steichen is calling plays from Nick's playbook, so that's Sirianni's problem. Yeah, I never really
that's true.
thought of it like that, so that is a
True.
phenomenal point.
Yeah, and Sirianni does call the final decision too. So that
Right.
is true.
And then Jeff Saturday was the best coach.
Yeah.
He was, but the team just couldn't get it done, man. So
He
that's
coached.
gonna be it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying he coached a good game. He still had the energy there, and the Colts looked like they were having fun out there. And it was just unfortunate at the end. Well, not unfortunate for us, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the team was having fun out there. Jeff Saturday, it's that breath of fresh air in the facility, in the practice field, in the stadium. He has it everywhere, dude. That's the type of guy you want leading the ship for
Exactly.
Indianapolis.
Exactly. And I think that is a great last statement to leave on. So all right. Well, one more. He coached an amazing game. Yeah, he did. He did.
Did
It's just
you?
the offense. Matt Ryan is so limited. And that's what holds him back right now. So
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Go.
Anything else from night?
Um, no, that's about it. I just want to say good games to you guys once again. It's sadly going to be 4 more years until another coach. But actually, no, they added this thing on the schedule where you get one extra AFC team you get to play. And so for us this year, we play the AFC South. And what's that extra AFC game we play? Let me think. It was the Steelers, the
Um,
AFC North. So maybe in the next 2 years, that extra AFC game we play as an AFC South team. and you guys are in the same uh, place in the division as us, but it's most
I don't think that's
likely
gonna happen. I
going to
think you
be
guys are
like
gonna play the Titans.
maybe. I don't.
Yeah.
I think so. If we keep continuing this year on year, but yeah, it depends on the schedule formula. But it's most likely going to be the next 4 years we play each other again in the AFC South, and I'll be there for it. So again, GG's to you guys. This was a really hard fought game.
Good game.
Both of absolutely. I thought it was a really good defensive, really great defensive game, and it came down to the wire. I don't know about you, but my stomach really hurt during that time. I was sweating. I was so nervous. Like I could not even like watch it. I was pacing forth. It was nerve wracking at the end there, and that's what makes it a good game. So yeah, GG's to you guys once again, and yeah, hopefully we can play each other next 4 years. It's gonna be a good game.
All right. Thank you for coming on night. I had a good time talking with you. Basically, talked with you the whole damn weekend. But I had a good time doing so because you're fun to talk to. You're a respectful Eagles fans, not
Thank
a
you.
crazy, wild,
Yeah,
delusional Eagles fan. You're realistic. You give your honest thoughts, and that's why I like talking to you and bringing you on
appreciate
here.
you.
So
Yeah,
that's no shot at Big Play Slay. He said he wanted to
franchise.
come on or franchise. He wanted me to go on his or he wanted to come on mine, but he didn't message me. He didn't message me again to see about it. So, but Big Play Slay could get a little rowdy sometimes. I said Big Play Slay again, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
by the way, ECG, he says, don't believe that the Vikings and Dallas have played 3 years in a row. I mean, that's true,
that's
but I
NFC
mean,
though.
it is, and I
It's
think
a little different.
little, and in the divisional alignments, 4 years is when we play the entire AFC South. If we play an extra AFC South team, it's gonna be like the same NFC formula. It's just gonna be one. If you know what I'm talking about. Schedule's weird. I mean, it works, but sometimes a little complicated to think about. But yeah, so yeah, thank you for having me on again.
Yep. All right. This is it. This is JDW Sports Talk Show and Nightinqs. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel. Like two away from
Thank you,
260. Get him there already. Get him
thank
there.
you, thank you.
So that's it. Me and Knight are out.